You can get your sunsetter for as little as $5.99 when you call now to get your special $200 discount certificate and free awning idea kit. You're going to love your sunsetter retractable awning. Sunsetter awnings are assembled in America and guaranteed to last for years. So call 800-869-5446 now to get a free awning idea kit with DVD plus your $200 sunsetter discount certificate. This is a limited time offer, so call 800-869-5446 now. That's 800-869-5446 for your free awning idea kit with DVD and $200 discount certificate. There's no obligation, so call 800-869-5446 now. With ThermoSpa's unique built-in thermofiltration system, you simply fill it with a garden hose and your water stays crystal clear with very little maintenance. Right now, they're offering 0% APR financing with approved credit and a $1,250 savings coupon. Call ThermoSpas today at 800-603-6422 for your free DVD videos and brochure. That's 800-603-6422. Call 800-603-6422 today to take advantage of 0% APR financing.
Join the family at Modell Sporting Goods. Visit your nearest Modell's and sign up for our MVP Rewards program to receive insider deals all year round. Earn points on every purchase when you use your MVP card to earn Modell's cash back. It's our way of thanking you for being a loyal customer. Upon signing up, receive 10% off your purchase and 15% off your next purchase. It's that simple. Plus, new MVPs this month are eligible to win a $500 Modell's gift card. When you gotta play more and pay less, you gotta go to Moe's.
You're listening to the Fantasy Sports Radio Network.
Fantasy Best Friends Forever.
Do 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 do. Yo, this is opening day, and we are the Fantasy Best Friends Forever, alongside Frankie Stanfill, and on the mic it's Michael Florio Hot Honey. I am Gregg Sussman. It has been a wild day,
to say the least, Gregg.
We had the debut of Carton and Friends, which was fantastic.
Good times.
They went through the Jackson 5, which was fantastic.
Phil Jackson, I didn't know about him, but now I know now.
Ben Jackson, AJ.
Yep. Mark Jackson,
Absolutely.
former coach of the Golden State Warriors. Shout out.
And, of course, Michael. So there you go. That was awesome. For more of Carton and Friends, check it out on demand, of course. Check it out tomorrow, 9 a.m. East, every single day, Monday through Friday, 9 to 1. We appreciate you sticking with us. If you were listening to Carton a little while ago. We are the Fantasy BFFs. We're just best friends talking about sports.
That's right, Greggy. It's opening day, man. We are...
A lot going on, man.
We're about an hour and a half out from our New York Yankees.
I have a question that
in Toronto.
You'll say no.
Sorry?
You want to come over and watch a game?
You know what? I would actually love to.
Really? Is there a boat coming?
But...
Okay.
I got to go watch my dad, you know.
You know what?
Yeah.
I respect that.
Yeah.
If your dad was like working or something, I would hope that you.
I would 100% come watch with you.
All right. I'm pretty pumped.
Yeah, man. Dude, honestly.
So the thing for me is, totally cutting you off. I don't like watch spring training. So like I haven't watched Yankee baseball at all. So I'm really excited. You can go now.
I didn't watch a lot of spring training either, to be honest. I mean, I caught some highlights, things that you needed to know about the Yankees from spring training, obviously. But last night was when it really started to settle in, man. Like, laying in bed, couldn't fall asleep, started getting the jitters a little bit, felt like a kid on Christmas Eve. I was getting excited, man, and now that it's really here, we got some action going. We got the Marlins, we got the Cubs, we got the Mets downstairs. You know, just seeing Mike's excitement, you know, as excited as you can get over a 3-2 lead for the New York Mets on opening day, it was getting me pretty pumped up too. So I'm excited.
So speaking of opening day, what about our team? Our team.
Crushing it.
Oh
Mike's down there like, but Cespedes has 2 RBIs.
Seriously?
And Lorenzo Cain has 0. I'm like, dude, he hasn't even played yet. Let's look at the positives here. We have Anthony Rizzo on both the Gotham Diamond District team and our GST league, and he went yard already. Mm-hmm. Not only that, we spent $6 on each of our catchers in the GDD league.
Yes.
And they are Wellington Castillo and Yadier Molina.
Don't you, like, feel amazing when it happens?
It feels pretty good.
Yeah. By the way,
Cespedes.
if anyone's down there, is that Florio's back? I guess.
Cespedes.
Mike Florio, hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I honestly I heard you guys, Frank, trying to bash me a little bit. I had to jump on and let you know that Cespedes right now, 2 RBIs.
Florio,
nice little base hit.
Why are we talking about players that aren't on our team instead of celebrating the players that are?
You know that all year there's going to be a player ranker between Cespedes and Lorenzo Cain.
Lorenzo Cain hasn't played yet.
I know.
Like you want to
when Lorenzo Cain plays tonight, if he hits a home run or does something, you guys could get
all
at
he
me.
needs is an RBI single.
2 RBI singles.
A 2 RBI single.
Great. Jake Ciely, you're still here hanging out. What's up, Jake?
What's going on? Yeah, what's Florio doing down in the non-studio portion?
It's a wild day here at the Fantasy Sports Network. We have Chick-fil-A downstairs for opening day, so we're it's a celebration here. So yeah, that's what's going on.
And I like to see how well Nando cleaned up the extra chairs that you guys didn't need.
Okay, well, you don't have to call that out, but that's cool. Whatever. Yeah, Jake, it's opening day. We're pretty pumped. We're probably just talking about our teams and random players for the whole time. So you want to hang out, you're more than welcome.
All right.
Sweet. All right. Let's get into it here a little bit. Frankie, let's get into some of the big news. We started off FST with it, and I think it's important. The Cardinals' closing situation did not go in the direction you were hoping for.
No. Last week, I asked Michael Florio, for a friend. I asked, if you drafted Dominic Leone and Luke Gregerson as kind of a Cardinals tandem, a handcuff situation, just in case Leone would start as the closer and then Gregerson would come back, blah, blah, blah. Would you feel safe with that? And he was like, I would feel pretty comfortable with that. The Cardinals, they're going to be a good team. Hopefully you get the closer out of it. Kaput. That is not happening. Today it came out, at the 11th hour, Greg Sussman, that Greg Holland will be signing with the St. Louis Cardinals. And that's a great situation for him. I think the over-under for them was, 84.5, 85.5, something like that. So this is going to be a competitive team. Even if he starts 2 weeks from now, he's going to be in a position to save 30-plus games.
Yeah, Jake, you kind of jumped on it immediately there, that he needs to be owned everywhere, and you're spending a significant portion of your budget for him if you need a closer.
Yeah, I said he'd be top 15. He actually finished 16 in my rankings, just outside of it. And everybody's like, what about a second half? Well, that's why he's not a top 7 closer, because he still saved 41 games last year. Obviously, you're concerned about the second half, and obviously, if you incorporate the second half to the year before and saying, all right, maybe he's going to be a 3-something ERA instead of the 2 that we saw for the longest time, and even sub-2 when he was with the Royals. I think the fact is, if he's a 3 ERA and he's saving 35 to 40 games, he's easily going to be top 15, if not top 10. The risk is why he's around 15 or 16. Otherwise, if it wasn't so late to the game, as Frank just said, he would have been inside the top 10 as a lock.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's fair. And you know what's crazy, Greg? This is definitely 100% recency bias because it just happened. Like, draft season just ended.
Definitely.
I think this is one of the craziest closer carousel draft seasons that we've had in terms of not knowing the Diamondbacks, in terms of not knowing where Greg Holland's going to end up. We get Luke Gregerson in and out of the lineup. We just had a ton of closing situations where we just had no idea what was going on, and we had a premier closer on the market that we had no idea where he was going to end up. So I think for all those reasons, I think this is one of the crazier closer carousels throughout a draft season that we've seen.
I completely agree, and I've actually said that to you before, I think, Frank, and really anybody, that this year feels different. This year feels like, I know every year you have certain teams that don't have closers, and I get that, but this year definitely feels a little bit different in that we've been waiting and trying to figure out situations. Like, I get certain terrible teams have multiple closers, like the White Sox, right? Like, I don't know if it's Joakim Soria or Nate Jones, and that's fine. And there's teams like that. I get it. But the Cardinals, like, it was weird. Like, they were too good of a team to not have a sustained closer. And Greg Holland, who declined the $17.5 million, ultimately signs for 1 for 14.
Yeah, and we just spoke about him going to the Cardinals, but yeah, it's just I just think it's one of the weirdest situations. Like, we didn't get Brad Boxberger until the day of. We kept suspecting that it wasn't going to be Archie Bradley, but we didn't know if it was going to be Hirano. Was it going to be Boxberger? We still don't know who's closing for the White Sox. We just found out today, according to whoever covers the Rangers for The Athletic. I'm forgetting the man's name. I could pull it up here. He came out today and said that Keone Kela is expected to get the first closing opportunity. Yesterday we heard a little speculation, but we're getting a little more confirmation now today. That man's name is Levi Weaver. Levi Weaver on Twitter. You can follow him at 32EFIS. So just another closing situation that we didn't know until opening day of 2018.
But then again, is it that much different? Like last year, I remember up until opening day, we had the same conversation that we had about the Diamondbacks, for instance, the Nationals, right? Like,
no, we
which
usually
National was it
have
going
this.
to be?
We usually have this with a couple of teams, for sure. Like, there's probably one or two teams, maybe three teams, but it just felt like there was just even more than that this year between the Cardinals, the Diamondbacks, the White Sox, the Rangers. Throughout the whole draft season, you don't know if you're taking Alex Claudio, if you're taking Keone Kela, if you're taking Tim Lincecum because he signs, and then people are saying, oh, there's a chance he can come back and be the closer, which you shouldn't have bought at any point. But I just felt like this year more than ever that there were just more teams than that. So, it makes things very frustrating, especially in roto leagues. Everyone's chasing saves. A lot of people don't want to pay up for saves. Oh, I'll just pick them up off the waiver wire. This is probably going to be your chance to do so.
Yeah, this is your opportunity early and often. And I'll say this, like, for a team like that, I always go back to Tampa Bay several years ago, where twice, 2 years in a row, once I picked up Fernando Rodney, he was supposed to be like the seventh inning dude. He winds up coming in the ninth, and he was awesome. Once I picked up Brad Boxberger. I was like, these guys are probably the closers. Today, if you see that, like for the White Sox, even though we heard one way and they go in a different direction, make that move. With the Phillies, right? We heard just a moment ago that Hector Neris may not be the closer in Philadelphia. You haven't heard this yet.
No.
Yeah.
What?
So that broke during FST. And Jake, is there any belief or truth to that?
I could see it. I think the fact is what you said, though. This isn't really more teams. I just think it's more teams are being flexible and kind of going down the Joe Madden path. It's just like, I don't need somebody to specifically be my ninth inning guy. I mean, if you look at Joe Madden in the past years, there's been a lot of times where he said, you know what, my best pitcher is coming out in the eighth, because it's more about matchups than to have that, all right, I always turn to Aroldis Chapman. Well, if you don't have Aroldis Chapman, if you don't have Kenley Jansen, if you don't have those kind of guys, why are you going to say, I always got to turn to this guy if he's just slightly better than other options that you have? And if he's slightly better, why not use him against the best lineup? What if 3, 4, and 5 are coming up in the eighth? I think that's the fact, is more teams are just being more flexible with their bullpens and using it in a smart way, and just not coming out and saying this person has to close every single time we have a save opportunity. So I still think it will be Neris before anybody else, but I don't think it's necessarily going to be every time the Phillies have a close situation, it's going to be Hector Neris.
Now, Greggy, I have not seen this news yet, and I still haven't seen this. I'm scrolling through my MLB beat list that I have, that I run through. I scroll through to find out my MLB news. I still don't know who this person is that would test Hector Neris for his job, but
Pat Neshek's the guy that comes to mind.
Yeah, that's the stab that I was going to take. Is that the one that's confirmed to?
No, it's not confirmed. Basically, Gabe Kapler, who benched Odubel Herrera. Why, Jake?
Defensive purposes, apparently. Actually, defensive purpose, and Aaron Nola is a ground ball pitcher, despite the fact he plays in the outfield.
So if Aaron Nola is a ground ball pitcher, is that making you think that? To me, it sounds like Nick Williams, he feels, is the better center field, is the better hitter of the two. He doesn't need the defense of Odubel Herrera, so he's going to have, in his mind, the better hitter in there.
That maybe that's the reverse. Is that they doesn't need the defense?
That's
what
I'm
he's
thinking.
saying. That makes a little bit more sense there. But at the same time, it's a weird platoon. I think that what all of this is saying is you have confidence in Altair, because the fact is he's the righty facing a righty. Nick Williams and Herrera are both lefties. You would assume that Altair would have been the one sitting for the matchups. But to your point, I think this is now looking like we're going to get a Williams-Herrera platoon, which doesn't make a lot of sense because they're both lefties. So if anything, like I said, the only positive I'm taking out of this is Altair thumbs up.
Is this too many analytics, Frank? Is this what this is?
Yeah, I think Gabe Kapler, just everything that we found out today about Gabe Kapler, he is going to be the manager that drives us absolutely nuts, Greggy, whether it's him not using Hector Neris in the ninth inning.
Is getting bombed.
I mean,
and walking a ton of people.
Yeah, I mean, that's midseason Carlos Martinez, though. I saw he had 3 walks in the middle of the second inning. I said, well, this is prime time Carlos Martinez. Like, what else is new?
We don't have him anywhere, right?
No, we do not. Just getting back to Gabe Kapler, though, I mean, this lineup that you throw out on opening day, like, this goes back to your roster resource theory. Like, roster resource, I don't care, like, who you are.
Thank you.
Like, there's no predicting what a manager is thinking. If you're throwing Aaron Altair out there, out against the righty, for all of spring, we thought Jorge Alfaro was their, top prospect catcher.
There's a report about they were saying Knapp is the personal catcher. That's why.
Knapp is the personal cat. Well, that's just another thing. That's another little like Gabe Kapler fantasy nuance that we're going to end up throwing in there. But this just might be a full rotation of. We thought Odubel Herrera was the safe guy. We thought, all right, he's going to play center field every single day. It's probably going to be a rotation between him, Nick Williams, Scott Kingery, Aaron Altair. Like, do we know if Rhys Hoskins is going to play every single day? Well, do we know at this point? I don't think we do.
No, we honestly do. He's going to be either in the outfield or first base every day.
Well, if he's at first base, where's Carlos Santana going to be?
Day off.
What? You get either $60 million dude days off?
Look at his injury, his career-wise. If you get 140 games, that's worth the $60 million. It's just like I said, it's going to be every single day where, like, all right, maybe he has one day off here and there, and that's when he fills in at first base.
Jake, to that point, if he can bench Carlos Santana after the contract they just gave him, they could bench Rhys Hoskins.
It's not a benching. 140 games is not benching Carlos Santana. It's giving him reasonable time off. That's all it is.
I'm just being a bitter fantasy player. That's honestly what it is.
That's fine. He can get those random days off. I'm just saying, if you're saying Rhys Hoskins is playing every day, either at first base or the outfield, to me, that's where Carlos Santana's playing. He's playing first base or the bench. And mostly it's going to be in the outfield, certainly first base.
By the way, who would have thought that Lester would get yanked before Urena today?
He was yanked, huh? And Lewis Brinson still over 3, that bum.
Yeah, I actually had John Lester in my early afternoon DraftKings slate, but really none of the pitchers have done well. I mean, even Noah Syndergaard, yeah, he's getting some strikeouts, but he gave up a 2-run homer already.
A lot of strikeouts.
So, yeah, so Syndergaard has looked the best so far. Urena was terrible. Carlos Martinez is walking everybody. He's already given up 3 runs.
Strikeouts, Frank? He's got 7 through 3. Couple?
That's why I said a lot of strikeouts.
I don't have the box score up here.
Correct him, Greg.
Yeah, no, I said he has a lot of strikeouts.
I don't have the box score up, so I'm just, I'm taking a stab at it.
I understand. No, I'm just watching kind of out of the corner of my eye what's going on. The Carlos Martinez, not impressive. Noah Syndergaard, impressive. That's kind of my summary.
Yeah.
That's a great summary, Greg.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that. More importantly for us, Anthony Rizzo has homered. So is Yadier Molina. We got a lot more to come on the BFFs. Just talking some baseball. We're going all around the league. We're going to have some fun here over the next 40 minutes. Stick around, more from your BFFs right after this.
With ThermoSpa's unique built-in thermal filtration system, you simply fill it with a garden hose and your water stays crystal clear with very little maintenance.
Right now, they're offering 0% APR financing with approved credit and a $1,250 savings coupon. Call ThermoSpas today at 800-603-6422 for your free DVD videos and brochure. That's 800-603-6422. Call 800-603-6422 today to take advantage of 0% APR financing.
Game time decisions.
Numbers betting is the way to go, except the only thing is degenerate gamblers aren't the most number-driven people. The number-driven guys are more the math guys that aren't drunks.
Nothing affects their mental state.
They're not degenerate gamblers. That's another thing either. I think like these fantasy guys accept losing better than we do.
Some of them.
They fire off 500 lineups, and if it wasn't a good night, they'll just fire off another 500 lineups because they're more even-keeled. Yeah. Degenerate gamblers more emotional.
Weekdays, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, only on the Fantasy Sports Radio Network.
Hey, I'm Jeff. Look, I'm just a skeleton. I don't have an ACL anymore, but I'd still like to know what it means when one of my fantasy players sprains his. That's why I use the Inside Injuries app. It was created by real doctors, so you're getting information directly from people who have seen, touched, and operated on actual ACLs. Take it from me, a skeleton. If you aren't using it, you might as well just be guessing. Download the free app today and unlock the secrets of injury analysis.
Why pay high rake when you can play daily fantasy baseball and pay half the rake on Fantasy Draft? Featuring half the rake GPP and head-to-head contests, exclusive VIP experiences, and the most flexible lineup structures in the game, Fantasy Draft is the only DFS site that puts players first. They're also the only site to offer 6 of 7 PGA scoring, dropping your lowest golfer's score. Register today with the code FNTSY for a free $4 entry into a guaranteed winner contest in the sport of your choice. Fantasy Draft, daily fantasy on a level playing field.
By the way, Chris Cannon downstairs, I am very much enjoying the music. I'll make that very clear.
It ain't the Jackson 5.
It's, you know what?
But what is?
When you see Phil and Mark out there playing, it's hard to miss. It's hard to miss, especially now that he's white.
Told her yet?
Told her what, Jake?
Exactly.
All right. Let's get in. Let's talk about some of these other lineups here. Some that we've gotten to, some that we haven't, and what if I had an interesting? I want to go over to the White Sox first, Jake. Yoan Moncada leading off for the White Sox. Is that a surprise to you?
No, not given his talent. I think that everybody saw the potential last year, and if you look at it, I'm looking at the lineup right now with you, and who else are you going to bat leadoff? Honestly,
I guess Tim Anderson, maybe?
No, not with his sub 300 OBP.
It's day one, man. It's New Year.
New Year, same Tim Anderson. I mean, the guy's had like a 3% walk rate since single A. So.
You'll get me hyped when we get to number 4 and 5. I love both those guys this year for value.
I wanted to get talked about that, and that's why I brought up the White Sox in general. Batting number 2, Avisail Garcia. So another case, potentially of your best hitter batting 2 or one of your best hitters, with Jose Abreu, of course, 3rd. And then you get to 4, 5, 6, which are really interesting. Number 6, Beef Castillo, who we've been all in on.
Beefy.
We've been all in on Beef Castillo this offseason. So we have him a lot. 4 or 5 really interesting names. Matt Davidson and Nicky Delmonico. Jake, Matt Davidson, former top prospect with the Marlins, and it never really panned out there. He gets another chance with the White Sox last year, and he kind of makes the most of it. He was pretty good a lot of last year. Starts opening day batting cleanup with Nicky Delmonico behind him. Talk to me about both Matt Davidson and Nicky Delmonico.
See, Davidson is Todd Frazier without the stolen bases. Honestly, he's kind of Todd Frazier at this point. You're hoping that maybe he can get that average up over 220. But at worst case scenario, 30 home runs and 80 RBI is certainly doable. Then you're probably looking at between 60 to 70 runs, maybe even more. Now that if he's going to be batting 4th every single time, those numbers might even be a little bit conservative. Outside the home runs, I don't think he's going to hit 40, but he's definitely a 30 home run power. It's just you have to understand the average is going to be a drain. I'm more excited for there's just another one. Nobody was talking about Nicky Delmonico, paying attention to what he did last year, paying attention to the fact that the guy can go 70 runs and RBIs, provide home run pop, provide an average that's not going to kill you. I have him as my 5th outfielder in a lot of leagues, and he'll probably finish as an outfielder 4. I think people didn't realize this was the same guy. I think it's funny because it's the same guy from the Brewers when he was going by Nick Delmonico before he got in trouble with the PEDs, and they changed his name like, no, that's not the same guy. I'm Nicky now. This is a completely different person.
Yeah, actually, I like Nick Delmonico as well. I mean, especially in points leagues. You look at what he did last year. It was a 43-game sample size, but he walked nearly 14% of the time, Greg, and struck out below league average. So he's putting the bat on the ball a ton, and he's got good plate discipline. He's walking a lot as well. So this is a pretty good White Sox lineup. It's not great, but it is a good hitting environment, especially once the weather starts to heat up a little bit in Chicago. And as for Matt Davidson, I mean, he does what you want a power hitter to do. He's going to strike out a ton. Like, he's going to be a batting average liability. But if you play in Roto League and you just need some really, really cheap pop, I'm talking about, like, off the waiver wire, 15-team mixed, AL only's probably already owned there, but 38% hard hit rate last year, Greg, and a 46% fly ball rate. Those are things that we look at out of a home run hitter. So he's hitting the ball hard, and he's putting the ball in the air, and those are going to lead to home runs in the hitter-friendly confines there in... What are they going by now? It's not U.S. Cellular anymore, right? For the White Sox?
Good question.
I don't think it is U.S. Cellular. But whatever it is a hitter-friendly ballpark, so.
Guaranteed rate field.
Guaranteed rate field, that's what it is.
Not know that.
You can put it on the board. Yes.
Let me voice crack there. Let me continue the White Sox lineup. 7, Tim Anderson. 8, Yolmer Sanchez. And batting 9, Adam Engel, who Scott Engel ridiculously likes because his last name is Engel.
Yeah, he is the love child of Scott Engel and Adam Ronis. You like that one, Greggy? Greg's got nothing. I will say I am encouraged that Tim Anderson is in the lineup today because he was battling an injury. Right. So we didn't know if he was going to be in the lineup, but he is. And speaking of another injury, my guy, Ian Kinsler, not in the lineup today, but
sorry, man,
has already come out that Mike Scioscia plans to play him tomorrow.
Oh, so, yeah. I thought it was interesting Zach Kozart leading off. We said that before as the Cardinals tie the baseball game at 3.
So, look, it's early on in the season. Sometimes we see this, that even the best starting pitchers can struggle. While Syndergaard is getting the strikeouts,
8 strikeouts.
Undoubtedly, he is getting the strikeouts. you know, he's somewhat human. He's given up 3 runs here, and we're not even out of the 3rd inning. So
where do I want to go? Oh, Rafael Devers.
Rafi.
Where's the card? Here it is. Rafael Devers.
Oh, thanks, Greggy.
You're welcome, bud.
Oh, I like the little trophy it has on it.
That's cool, right?
That's hot. Oh, this is actually his rookie card. Oh, I'm taking this home for sure.
Sure. Sorry.
You kind of bent the top, though. Gregg Beinin would hate you right now.
Oh, whatever, man. Rafael Devers, batting 6th today. We thought he was going to bat 5th until yesterday, Frank.
Yeah. Well, we saw it come out yesterday that it's going to be either 6th or 7th. So I guess, you know, we should be happy that it's 6 and not 7. But I assume Xander Bogaerts is 5th. I haven't actually looked at the Red Sox lineup yet. But for whatever reason, Alex Cora is showing some kind of faith, trust in Hanley Ramirez. He's batting him 3rd. Maybe it's a motivational tactic saying, look, you're one of our best hitters. Let's get you off to a hot start, get you some protection in the lineup. Batting right ahead of J.D. Martinez, and, you know, he is going to have Mookie Betts and Benintendi there ahead of him. So Hanley Ramirez is in a great position if he can stay healthy to at least drive in some runs. So at the least, he'll be able to do that.
Absolutely. Okay. What was the other lineup you wanted me to mention, Frank? I know you brought it up a bit earlier.
The Oakland A's. The only thing that I was interested in here is, you know, I was a Marcus Semien fan. I thought he was a good fallback option at the shortstop position or middle infield. I think he could be 25 home runs, 10 stolen bases. I'm very happy to see that he is batting 2nd in the lineup, even with a right-handed pitcher on the mound in Garrett Richards. I know in years past they've been hesitant to do that. They bat him at the bottom of the lineup against the righty, 7th, 8th. We thought maybe against some lefties he'll hit leadoff, but I am happy and encouraged to see that Marcus Semien is batting at the top of the lineup with Garrett Richards on the mound.
I'm a little bit disappointed, Jake, at this A's lineup now that I look at it. With Matt Joyce leading off, Semien 2nd, Jed Lowry 3rd, Chris Davis 4, Matt Olson 5, Stephen Piscotty batting all the way at 6th. I like Piscotty. We talked a lot about him personal-wise, going back to Oakland, being closer to his mother, who unfortunately is battling ALS. I like Piscotty this year. Disappointing to see him batting 6th in this lineup.
I don't like seeing Piscotty 6th or Chapman 7th. Honestly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chapman's a little bit better version of Matt Davidson. So you would want to see both these guys hopefully move up. Maybe it's a Jed Lowry. I'm looking at the lineup right now. Obviously, Matt Joyce leading off, maybe because they're facing Richards, who's a righty.
Maybe.
But this lineup's just not going to be that great the entire year, though.
Yeah.
I think it could get better, though, right? Like,
should.
Jed Lowry, yeah, he's been serviceable. He's a veteran here on the team, but keeping the seat warm for Franklin Barreto or Jorge Mateo, hopefully, and then Boog Powell batting 9th. I mean, if we get Dustin Fowler in this lineup, maybe we see Dustin Fowler at the top, and we see like a 1-2-3 Dustin Fowler, Marcus Semien, and then maybe Matt Olson hits 3rd at some point, and Chris Davis. And so if we get everyone moving up one spot, then we get Piscotty 5 or something, Matt Chapman 6. I think it could end up being a better lineup, but as of right now, it's just super weird seeing Matt Joyce 1st and Jed Lowry 3rd on your opening day lineup. But hey, it's Oakland A's baseball.
Oakland A's baseball. No punchline there.
Well, I have Garrett Richards in a lot of my DFS lineups today.
There you go.
I love it. I said yesterday, pick up Tyler Skaggs and stream him right away for 2nd game of the season on Friday. Go out and stream him against the Oakland A's. Why not?
All right.
You know what, Greg?
Yes, sir.
The Mets should just play 5 infielders when Syndergaard's on the mound. I've never seen so many balls just get through the like the grounders just squeak through the infield because that's all he induces.
To be fair, Yachty's was hit very far.
Oh, that's you weren't stopping that whether you got 10 infielders or 10 outfielders.
Did you see it, though, Greg? Did you see the home run?
It was off the double.
Yeah, it was, like, super weird. It was like an inside pitch. I was just surprised you get your hands in that fast on
it certainly counts.
On a Noah Syndergaard pitch, yeah.
Somebody warming up in the Cardinals bullpen. Is that Brett Cecil? Did I make that up? All right, there you go. Look at my eyesight.
It is not Greg Holland.
It is not Greg Holland. As grounded right back to Syndergaard, which will end the inning and strand a runner on first
and 4
third.
putouts for Syndergaard today.
That's crazy.
On grounders.
All right, here's a really interesting lineup I've been waiting for. The Tampa Bay Rays. Do you know who's not in the lineup?
Let me guess. Carlos Gomez.
Carlos Gomez is batting 3rd.
Ooh, I just seen it. Did I say that wrong?
I think it saw it, but Rob Refsnyder's your DH today.
Oh, shout out. Nando DeFino.
Signed yesterday. Nando DeFino did a whole show on it.
This is so Tampa Bay Rays.
And there it is. Rob Refsnyder, your DH. Not in the lineup.
Oh, my God.
Malik Smith.
Going against a lefty, though. This is what we've said about him. It's a smaller sample size, but throughout his career at the major league level, he has not been able to hit left-handed pitching. So I guess with Chris Sale on the mound, one of, if not the best lefty in the game, Clayton Kershaw.
Yes, probably good.
yeah, you get Malik Smith out of there.
Only 2 lefties in the lineup today, Kevin Kiermaier and Denard Span. Here's the lineup for Tampa Bay. Matt Duffy leads off. Kevin Kiermaier bats second. Carlos Gomez third. The boy, C.J. Cron. Clean up Wilson Ramos, our guy. Batting fifth. Denard Span batting sixth. Adene Echeverria batting seventh, playing short. At eighth, it's Daniel Robertson. Ninth, Robert F. Snyder. The crazy thing about Tampa Bay is tomorrow you can see an entirely different lineup.
Yeah, even after Joe Madden is gone from this team, it seems like Kevin Cash has kind of kept some of these, I don't know, I guess weird philosophies we could say, where
Gabe Kapler-like.
No, we're not making that a thing yet, Greg. But he has thrown random lineups out there depending on who the matchups are and yada yada yada. But hey, it's Tampa Bay Rays, whatever.
That is, in fact, Tampa Bay Rays. Jake, are there any lineups that you're like, whoa, look at that?
No, I was kind of looking through the rest of them while you were talking, and there's nothing where I'm like, oh my God, wow, I didn't even notice the Malik Smith until you even said it.
I'll point one out then. The Toronto Blue Jays. You got Devin Travis leading off, Donaldson batting second, Justin Smoke batting third, playing first. Your cleanup hitter, the Grandy man, Curtis Granderson, with Kendrys Morales batting fifth, Randall Grichuk batting sixth, Russell Martin seventh, Kevin Pillar eighth, and Aledmys Diaz batting ninth.
That seems right.
This lineup does not have a lot of lefties in it, I just realized. Justin Smoke and Kendrys Morales are switch hitters, but outside of those two and Curtis Granderson, those are really your left-handed bats, right?
I would have put Kendrys fourth, Grichuk sixth, and Granderson sixth, probably, Jake.
So you're going to bat 2 people sixth?
No, Smoke third, Morales fourth, Grichuk fifth, Granderson sixth.
You said 6 and 6. I was just busting your chops.
All right, that's already done.
No, so I think Granderson doesn't get enough respect, though, for what he continues to produce. The average is never going to be great, but he's going to continue to produce, and now you're going to get him in Toronto. I think this is a spot, in fact, he's facing a righty. He probably slides down to where if he's facing a lefty, he might even get benched, but he'll probably bat more like sixth if it's a lefty.
I'm not sure if you were watching FST, Frank. We were talking about the Padres lineup. Really interesting. I'm glad you haven't seen it yet.
No. I have heard that Jose Perella is batting cleanup for this team. Yeah.
Oh, Greg.
Yo.
Real quick, sorry to sidetrack and go back to him.
Okay.
Kudos to the Mariners at 10-10 already having their lineup out.
Yeah, the Mariners have had their lineup out all day, I think. All day.
It must have. I think it came out the last hour because I set a lineup and I had 2 people from the Mariners in that lineup and it wasn't updated yet on DraftKings and FanDuel.
Gotcha. Yeah, the Mariners do have their lineup updated. Let me get there in a second, Jake. Jose Perella, yes, Frank.
Yeah, we know that this is a guy that they like in San Diego. They're going to try and find all different ways to try and get him in the lineup. The problem that I have with the Padres is that, Hunter Renfroe is kind of being jerked around now. He was a guy that I liked last year, and, for the playing time that he got, he still hit, mid-20s in home runs? I think if the guy got 500 at-bats this season, we're looking at a 30 home run hitter. So, and it's just a couple years ago, we're talking about him as their top prospect. So, now, I don't know how he's going to get into the lineup unless, they're facing a lefty, really, right? So you could play Jose Perella around the diamond, maybe put him at third, bench Chase Headley in order to get Hunter Renfroe in there. But that's something all spring we kind of talked about, and now we're seeing it, first game of the season, come to fruition. Hunter Renfroe not in the lineup.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, we'll talk about the Mariners lineup here. Jake points out it's been updated. They're playing at 10 o'clock tonight. You got D. Gordon, followed by Gene Segura, exactly what we expected. In fact, the first 5 are exactly what we expected. Segura, Cano, Nelly Cruz, Kyle Seager batting 5th, Mitch Haniger batting 6th, Ryan Healy in the lineup today, Dan Vogelbach not, with Mike Zeno 8th, and your starting left fielder for the Seattle Mariners, number 51, Ichiro Suzuki.
The timeless Ichiro Suzuki.
Opening day!
What do you make of Dan Vogelbach, Greggy? I mean, the fact that they kept him... You're out.
I'm out.
I mean, he had some pedigree coming from the Chicago Cubs, kind of looked like a beefier version of Kyle Schwarber, if you can imagine that. But if you saw him play in the spring, where he was absolutely tearing it up, I think he led all of spring training in home runs. I believe he hit 8 home runs. The guy looks exactly like Kyle Schwarber, has a big swing there, and had the pedigree. He just, he never really put it together last year. I think the Mariners were expecting this out of him at some point, but they kind of got Ryan Healy as that insurance, and now they kind of have a problem on their hands, whether to play Ryan Healy, whether to play Dan Vogelbach. So usually these things end up playing themselves out, but I think considering the fact that they traded for Ryan Healy as well, they're going to give him the first crack here.
Jake?
Yeah, look, the fact is Vogelbach is still only 25.
Yep.
I mean, if we have an injury here, he's still got plenty of time. The guy hasn't even spent that much time in the majors yet. So let's be. No, I'm not saying you, Frank. I'm just saying in general. Like, let's be a little cool of like the fact that just dismissing this guy completely. But it comes down to what you said. And Ryan Healy was the investment. Ryan Healy was supposed to be the guy that was starting. Vogelbach was picked up as insurance. Healy came back faster than expected, so he's just left out of the mix. He's left out of playing time. Maybe if you're looking at this, something happens to Ichiro, and then you can play some Cruz in the outfield some days, obviously not the entire week, and maybe Vogelbach can get some DH opportunities. But as of right now, this is nothing more than you're just hoping something opens up for him.
Greg, I don't know if you knew this about Dan Vogelbach, but I just pulled up his page, right?
Yeah.
You look at the past couple of years in the minor leagues. Last year, at the AAA level, he had a 14% walk rate. 2016 at the AAA level with the Chicago Cubs, a 15% walk rate. That year, he was traded to the Mariners.
Over 20.
44 games, a 21% walk rate. Like, Dan Vogelbach has a great eye. Like, he has good plate discipline. He does not strike out a lot, as you heard Jake mention. Doesn't have a huge bat in terms of power, but actually has better batting average than, a guy typically that you would see from his size. When we see bigger guys like this, we'll see, he's going to hit a ton of home runs. He's going to strike out. That's not the case with Daniel Vogelbach. Like, he's going to hit for some batting average, and he still does have a little bit of pop in his bat, but also has a good eye, Greg. So,
but isn't he kind of But doesn't Dan Vogelbach to me, and I liked him last year, but Dan Vogelbach to me kind of seems like your typical quad A player.
Based on what?
I don't think we've seen enough time.
Yeah.
Just based on being Shelley Duncan.
Oh,
I think he should drop 20 pounds and try to run faster, and then he could be the leadoff hitter.
That'd be cool. But,
Greg, Dan Vogelbach has 24 career games in the major leagues.
Yeah, they weren't good.
Yeah, I've seen enough. He's batting 175.
Right, see? That's what I'm saying.
Come on, man.
By the way, in case you're wondering, we have reached the point on day one where I want to drop somebody. We've reached it.
Who is this year's Yasmani Tomas, Greg Sussman? Reveal it to us.
This year's Yasmani Tomas, let me just confirm that he hasn't gotten a hit since. Hold on. This year's Yasmani Tomas.
I can just tell you, I have everything pulled up.
Do you?
Who do you need to know?
Yeah, I got enough.
Cardinals, Mets.
This year's Yasmani Tomas is Lewis Brinson. 0 for 3 for a Marlins team that has 4 runs.
He's trying, Greg.
Jake's been waiting to do this all week. Let's make some predictions when we come back. We got a lot to go. We got some MVPs. We got some Cy Youngs. We got your champion. We got a lot to do. The BFFs, Fantasy Sports Radio Network.
Muscle Maker Grill was made for baseball season. Muscle Maker Grill supplies you with delicious, healthy meals that will give you energy to cheer on your team week after week. Whether you're craving flavorful salad, packed wraps, or guiltless entrees, Muscle Maker Grill has you covered. Hosting a game? No problem. Our catering packages will have your whole team satisfied with flavors ranging from Italian to Tex-Mex and much, much more. Visit MuscleMakerGrill.com for your nearest location and have a winning season.
Attention all authors. Page Publishing is looking for authors. Have you written a book and want to get it published? Page Publishing will get your book into bookstores and for sale online at Amazon, Apple iTunes, and other outlets. They handle all aspects of the publishing process for you. Printing, cover art, publicity, copyright, and editing. Call 800-292-8137 now for your free author submission kit. That's 800-292-8137 for your free author submission kit. Again, that's 800-292-8137.
Fantasy Baseball Hour with Al Melchior.
Gregg Bird's going to have surgery to remove a broken spur from his right ankle, and so he's going to be out an estimated 6 to 8 weeks. So that is unfortunately a big blow to Gregg Bird's value for this season. You're missing really minimum a quarter of the season. That to me is sort of the tipping point when you really do need this kind of player. When you're missing a quarter of the season or more, that's substantial, and that's the situation for Gregg Bird.
Listen live on the Fantasy Sports Radio Network and on popular podcast providers.
Skix sneakers are taking over tailgates and alumni homes across America. Skix canvas high top, low top, slip-on, and kids tennis style sneakers designed in officially licensed college colors and logos is a must-have for every college fan's wardrobe. Fun, fashionable, and comfortable. Whether you're at the big game or watching the game at home, Skix helps fans perform better. Go to Skix.com and use promo code FNTSY for 15% off your pair now. That's Skix.com. Skix sneakers, the soul of a true fan.
Opening day baseball is upon us. Metropolitans doing their thing. They're tied. Yankees kick off in less than an hour, Frankie. Frank's going home to watch it with his dad.
Poppy, the Don.
There you go. I'm going home to watch it with a beer.
Send me a picture, like one of those pictures where you just kind of like put the beer in next to you and it's like cuddle in my bay.
Not good.
It's just your really crappy IPA beer, whatever you drink.
It's not a crappy IPA beer.
So tell me what you have.
It's IPA.
Oh, yeah.
It's not crappy.
I'm going to take a few stabs at what Gregg has in his fridge right now. I'm going to tell you right now what's in my fridge. It's Bud Light and it's Beck's. It's a beer for me and a beer for my pops. He drinks the German beer. I drink the crappy American beer, whatever, Gregg. Do you have Dogfish IPA in your fridge right now, Gregg?
I do not.
Do you have...
To be honest with you, I bought all these craft beers a while ago, picking out these... I went to a cool beer store. I bought a bunch of craft beers, all IPAs that the guy picked out. I don't even know the brands.
Yes, a cool beer store.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm very excited to drink the beer when I get home.
Sam Adams Rebel IPA?
No,
do you like that beer?
Yeah, I'm in a Rebel IPA.
It's Kinga's favorite, actually.
King and I get along.
She actually likes the grapefruit IPA, Gregg.
What does she think of Sam Summer?
Just the regular summer ale?
Sam Summer ale, yeah.
Yeah, it's not an IPA.
I didn't say it was.
So I think she likes it. I've seen her drink it.
It's my favorite. It's my favorite.
It's your favorite beer?
Yeah.
But it's not IPA.
But it's
not really bitter, though, either.
Correct. It's just the most delicious beer ever.
All right. I mean, that's how I feel about Heineken Light.
That's fine.
Yeah. That's my beer.
You like what you like.
Yeah.
Jake, what is your favorite drink, Jake?
Drink?
Yeah, to drink. What's your favorite drink?
Pib Zero.
Really? Pib Zero?
Yeah.
That's like the...
Almost impossible to find.
Is that like the Southern Dr. Pepper, right?
It's the Coke version of Dr. Pepper, which is Mr. Pibb is better than Dr. Pepper by far.
Okay.
And it's the Zero. It's the Coke Zero version of it, which, like I said, it's almost impossible to find. You can pretty much only find it. They don't even sell it by the can or bottle or anything, but you have to find it in one of the red Coke machines. They have all the different flavors.
Right.
And it's hit or miss. Like Five Guys always has it.
Yeah.
And that's the only place that I've found it consistently.
Oh, it's so funny.
Can confidently say I've never seen or heard of this in my life.
Mr. Pibbs?
Never heard of it.
Yeah, it's Coke's Dr. Pepper.
I have no idea what this is.
You know how Dr. Pepper goes flat really fast?
I like Dr. Pepper.
Mr. Pibb's the opposite.
Oh, is this now 9 strikeouts for Noah Syndergaard? 10 maybe? 9.
Oh, no, 10.
It is
He
10?
just struck out another one to finish the inning?
Yes.
Yeah, that's 10 and 5 innings.
That's double-digit strikeout. How many pitches does he have?
He has 10
75.
strikeouts, 75 pitches.
Oh, my God.
So we could be looking at 2 more innings.
Absolutely.
10 of 15 outs.
That was the 5th, Frank?
Strikeouts. That is the end of the 5th inning.
All right.
Or rather, the top of the 5th inning. The middle of the
That's what I meant. That was it's 5 innings for Noah Syndergaard
Yeah.
thus far. All right, cool. Let's make some predictions, guys. Let's make some predictions. I know, Jake, you've been wanting to do this your own way. I'm gonna let you do that. So I don't want to get in the way. I don't want to screw anything up for the way you wanted to do this. So let's start.
I don't care.
No, let's start the way you wanted to start it, right? With the AL Cy Young Award winner. Was there a non-version, right? Non-Kluber Sale version? Is that what it was?
No, AL was fine. The NL version was the non-Kershaw version.
Okay, so I'll do AL first. Who is your AL Cy Young Award winner, Jake Ciely?
It's Chris Sale, and because you could make the argument for Corey Kluber. You could actually make I'd say one more argument, but I think that's Chris Sale. I honestly would have taken Chris Sale last year.
Okay.
Yeah, this is going to be a boring answer, but I'm going to go with Corey Kluber. Back to back.
And I'm going to go with the guy who finished third to those guys. I'm going to go with Luis Severino.
Oh,
I thought
Homer Yankee pick, Gregg.
Yep.
Love it.
All right. The National League Cy Young Award winner, non-Clayton Kershaw division.
I actually would have taken this guy even if you put Clayton Kershaw in the mix, Gregg. Much to the surprise of Jake Ciely and Michael Florio, a guy that I have been very high on the entire draft season. If he stays healthy for the entirety of the season, goes 220 innings pitched, and keeps up what he did in the second half of last year, the Cy Young for this season will be the New York Mets' Jacob deGrom. Gregg Sussman. You heard it here first.
Jake deGrom, the Cy Young Award winner. Wow. All right. Jake Ciely.
He's the right team, wrong person, and you're watching that person today. Because if he doesn't need to even get to 220, he just has to get to 200 innings. And the fact is that Noah Syndergaard will be the NL Cy Young because of the strikeouts and because of his potential if he ever gets to 200 innings. And he will this year.
I kind of like the Syndergaard pick.
I'll put a caveat on mine that if Syndergaard gets to 200, he has my vote as well. I'm just saying, if that happens. No, like I'm not taking your pick because I don't. Personally, I feel like he's going to need a DL stint at some point. We're probably looking at like 170, 180 innings. And if he does that, he'll probably still be like a top 5 pitcher for fantasy regardless. Yeah, like he'll be right there. But if he goes 200, he's going to win the Cy Young. He's probably going to win.
I'm just going to go Max Scherzer.
All right, so we had a boring pick. You have a boring pick.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fine. I mean, your Severino pick was kind of boring too.
Nah, Severino's a good one.
Considering your background, but.
Give me an NL MVP, Jake.
NL MVP? Going to the Nationals for this one. And it's not the sexy-haired Bryce Harper.
You going Trey Turner?
It's actually Trey Turner.
Wow.
Absolutely. I think he's going because I think the Nationals are going to be playoff bound along with I think them and the Dodgers are the 2 best teams in the National League. And I think Trey Turner is going to be that 5 category, not just for fantasy that we were hoping on, but I think he's going to be the MVP.
Frankie.
Greg, another guy that you know that I've always been very high on, a guy that I have tried to argue on the Fantasy BFFs that you should draft over Joey Votto. If this man plays 150 games this year, he's going to hit 45 home runs. He's going to hit over 300, and he will have the Atlanta Braves in the thick of the wild card race. Freddie Freeman is my pick if he stays healthy this year. This is the year for Freddie Freeman.
45 home runs for
45 home runs if he plays 150 games this season.
Greg, did you slip him a couple of those IPAs before you did the show?
Oh, I wish.
I do not wish, actually.
Was that a wow for Mike Florio?
He's a hater on Freddie Freeman.
I am not a hater, but those are some bold numbers.
Whatever, man. Like, he's showed promise in the past. They built this stadium for Freddie Freeman. Think about that.
I don't think they actually built a stadium for Freddie Freeman.
Yeah, they built it for his swing. Did they not?
They did not.
Did they not?
I think they did.
Not specifically for Freddie Freeman.
I agree.
Yes,
it was
they
just
did.
like the rumors that the Mets built Citi Field for Johan Santana. It's just not true.
I think they did too.
He is the face of the franchise. They got rid of everybody else on this Atlanta Braves team from when he came up. They sat him down and told him, look, we are going to rebuild this team, and we are going to make this team in our vision with you as the face of the franchise.
And
we're going to build
in 10 years when he's gone?
No, they'll just find another big lefty bat that's going to take over and be the next Freddie Freeman.
The Yankees built Yankee Stadium for Giancarlo Stanton. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't see that one coming? Come on, Jake.
Seems so easy. By the way, my MVP is a guy that could be MVP any year. Hasn't won it yet. He will this year in 2018. My MVP is Nolan Arenado.
It's a good pick.
Solid pick.
Thank you guys. Appreciate that.
I think it gets cannibalized by his teammate. That's the problem.
That's possible. That's happened last year, I think. Let me get your rookies of the year. I'll start with you, Frank. Your NL Rookie of the Year.
He's going to come from the same team as Freddie Freeman, and it is the boring pick. It is the favorite pick. It will be Ronald Acuna when he comes up on April 14th, which is officially Ronald Acuna Day.
You made a bet on that, I believe.
We haven't really figured out the parameters of the bet between Dane Martinez and myself, spitting speeds. But April 14th is the day that Ronald Acuna will be up, and he will hit over 280, and he will be a 2020 player this year, Greg.
All right, your NL Rookie of the Year, Jake.
Yeah, I actually made this the non-Acuna, similar to the non-Kershaw. So because I think Acuna's the obvious one, similar to Chris Bryant a couple of years ago when he came up midway through April. So for the non-Acuna pick, I'm going back to your team that you just mentioned, and that's Ryan McMahon. I think Ryan McMahon is going to play every day at first base and hit around 30 home runs playing for the Rockies, and he will be the Rookie of the Year, not named Acuna.
Jake, why are you saying his name like that?
Because that's how you say his name. I don't do it like you guys do.
I believe on this program he is named
Ryan McMahon.
There you go. What was that, Frank?
It was Ryan McMahon.
All right, cool.
You guys won't do Mikolas the way I do it, so I'm not doing McMahon the way you guys
How do you do it?
Mikolas?
Do you do it like Ricola?
Exactly.
I knew
it's
that was
Mike
going.
Mikolas.
Yeah, that was easy to see going. Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
I think my Rookie of the Year is a guy that might not even be called up this year, probably. But I like him, so I'm going to make him my Rookie of the Year. Former number 2 overall pick, Nick Senzel. I think Nick Senzel is your Rookie of the Year in the National League.
Yeah, I think Scott Kingery is probably also going to be a very popular pick depending on how much he plays this year. But look, the Phillies liked him enough to sign him to an extension before he even played a Major League Baseball game. So Nick Senzel is a solid pick, but very similarly to Scott Kingery, it's just all about where does Senzel fit in the Cincinnati Reds lineup, whether it's at second base, do they get Scooter Gennett out of there? Jose Peraza gets off to a slow start again this year. Does he play some shortstop? Me, personally, I don't think that he is a natural shortstop. So I think maybe if you put him there,
spot, I think, for him.
It might end up. What are they, Greg? They just signed Eugenio Suarez.
Can't play him somewhere else. Play him somewhere else.
Where are you going to play Suarez? I mean, you could play him at second base too.
Eugenio.
Thank you, Greg. Greg knows it.
I listen on Target.
This is not on Target. This is Fantasy BFFs, where we say Ryan, Meek, man.
There is no such thing anymore.
All right. Who is your AL Rookie of the Year, Frank?
Probably another favorite as well, but when he comes up on Cinco de Mayo, Greggy, it will be Willie Calhoun, who, if you look at the minor league numbers, the guy does not strike out. He's a great contact hitter. I think he's going to hit for power as well. I don't think the Rangers team is going to be very good overall from a win-loss perspective, but still have a very good lineup, still have a very good ballpark. They have that jet stream out to right center field, which is going to help Willie Calhoun a ton. When he comes up, he is going to be a very productive player this season. We just have to be patient for him.
To say.
So did you drop him yet?
I want to badly.
Greg has the itch over here. He's like waving the pen around. He's shaking his leg. He's already looking at the next player pick. Look at him. He's on Yahoo. He's like, who's a free agent? I got to drop Lewis Brinson. Who you got over there, Greg?
He hasn't hit the ball out of the infield.
Yeah, but he hit a 116 mile per hour home run the other day. Average exit velocity off the bat. 116 miles per hour. That's got to count for something.
I'm staring at like Cargo. Cargo's out there.
After he hits 2 home runs tonight, he'll be on your team.
Very good chance of that. Or Jose Peraza, staring at him.
Is it wrong that I wanted to bench Carlos Gonzalez this week in another league where it's the 11-day period? Because he faces like 5 lefties over these first 11 games. And he faces Patrick Corbin tonight, actually.
Yes, he does. Hey, Jake, who's your AL Rookie of the Year?
It's Ohtani. I think that's
not fun.
No, it might not be, but at least I didn't put the non-Ohtani pick for this one because there are conversations for other people, at least in the American League.
All right, so there you go.
There's a lot of people that have panicked and dropped off of him in the past couple weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. We like Ohtani, though, in the BFFs. We're Ohtani guys. I'm just going to use Gleyber Torres. No big deal.
Severino Cy Young, Gleyber Torres Rookie of the Year.
And
you're better than this, Greg.
So just say Yankees over Dodgers. Just say it.
Let's get to your MVPs, shall we?
American League MVP?
Yes.
Come to me last. I don't have a good pick.
Jake, your AL MVP, please.
This is the non-Trout MVP. That's what it has to be.
Yeah, it has to be non-Trout.
All right, we'll qualify that. The non-Trout MVP.
The non-Trout MVP won't be last year's MVP, who was Altuve, because Trout missed time. Altuve is going to finish third because Giancarlo Stanton is finishing second.
And that makes sense based on how Jake has ranked him. He's been pretty consistent with his stance on Giancarlo Stanton. If I'm not mistaken, Jake, you had him ranked as your second overall player in Roto this year, correct?
The entire time. He was the second last year at 50 home runs, and what he does in combined runs and RBIs being in the 230 to 250 range. I mean, it's insane.
I'm going to pull a Greg Sussman here, and I'm going to choose an MVP from the same team. It is not going to be Giancarlo Stanton. It is not going to be the AL MVP runner-up last year in Aaron Judge, but it will be Gary Sanchez. Look at what he did last year from a catcher perspective, and he missed the first month of the season, Greg. I know that we're all guilty of this, kind of like pro-rating stats over a full season, but from a catcher perspective, if this guy hits 280 with 40 home runs and 100 RBIs this year, he's not going to be in the MVP discussion?
To me, your AL MVP will not be any of the players mentioned thus far. Your AL MVP will be Francisco Lindor.
That's a good pick. I think Carlos Correa was a strong pick as well, if he plays 150 games, because he was banged up last year for a portion of it.
Oh, wow. Carlos Martinez went nuts in the dugout. He was very upset that he walked 17 players today. What was the how many players did he wind up walking, Jake? Do you have that up?
He walked 6. This is his final stat line. Let me read this to you. 4.1 innings pitched, 4 1/3. Sorry. 4 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned runs, 6 walks, 5 strikeouts. He is sporting a solid 6.23 ERA through his first start.
Do we
of the
have him in the BFF league?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
God damn it.
I knew we had him somewhere.
And we took him over Darvish before Darvish
Before we
signed.
signed with the Cubs, yeah.
Yep.
I knew we had him somewhere.
Breakouts and busts.
Should we pick the World Series last? All right. Wait, I need an NL MVP first. We did that already. I think no, not. Okay.
Yeah, we did.
I went out of order. The breakouts and busts. Sure, Jake, go for it.
Gallo and Hoskins and Happ and Schwarber and Luis Castillo. I have so many in the National League.
Those breakouts or busts?
Yeah, I don't know what they were
They're all
either.
breakouts.
Because it
They're
could
all
go either
breakouts.
way. Because they're very talked about players, so it could go either way here.
Totally.
So it
But
was
I'll
what?
say, because Hoskins is kind of common, Gallo and Happ.
All right, a lot of people. Ian Happ went pretty early in my draft earlier this week. I was like, wow, it was kind of crazy. But a lot of people like him, so good for you, Jake. Ian Happ and Joey Gallo.
I will go with my guy. The guy I've been touting for the Arizona Diamondbacks. This year's breakout will be Zach Godley. I don't really have a good pick for the AL, so I'll leave that to you, Greg.
Rafael Devers!
Oh, of course, obviously.
What a joke.
I'm sorry, man. Look, I got the card right here. I'm reminded now. But it makes sense. It was a
Greg, are
BFF
we even allowed
collaborative
to
effort.
say busts?
That's a good point.
That's a great point, Jake. The reason we're not streaming on YouTube Live,
Yeah.
FNTSY, is we've been taken down because we've been accused of putting the best busts out there, which is true. We do put the best busts out there.
Yeah, just for fantasy baseball.
The highest
But
rated show of the week, but, whatever.
Whatever makes them watch.
Bye-bye, Roto Experts YouTube account. You are now gone.
Whatever, as long as we title it. I hope we titled it busts.
I did not put busts in here,
All right,
but
fair
maybe
enough.
I should have.
There you go. Give me your picks, man. Give me your World Series picks. Don't tell me who won yet. Just give me the World Series.
Go to Jake first. Come on.
I can't go. I think it's going to be a repeat. Astros, Dodgers. I can't get away from these two teams. They're just so
Astros,
loaded.
Dodgers. All right, Franklin.
I will go with a repeat of last year's World Series, the Chicago Cubs and the Cleveland Indians this season.
All right, there you
You
go.
mean 2 years ago?
That's what he meant.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
That's
what I meant, Jake.
That's what he meant. I like that, but I'll take the homer pick because, why not? It's my show.
Very consistent. I like it.
I'm going to go with the Yankees and the Cubbies.
I like that one. I was considering that as well.
Yankees and the Cubbies in the World
That'd be great
Series.
for ratings.
That would be fantastic for ratings. Much better than last year's ratings. I can assure you that. Although it went to Game 7, which was cool. I'm gonna go with Yankees and Cubs as the Mets get another run. How about that? Is it Ahmed Rosario?
Greg,
It is Rosario.
if the Yankees make it to the World Series this year, you
Two
know we're
runs for the Mets.
You know we're going to a game together, right?
Are we being given tickets?
Break the bank, man. Don't sit here and patronize our watchers, Greg, by not revealing that you have loads of money stashed in your house.
Enjoy baseball, everybody. It's opening day. Your BFFs will be back tomorrow. For Jake Ciely, for Frank Stanfield, for Mike Florio, Chris Cannon downstairs, my name is Gregg Sussman. Have a fantastic rest of your day. We'll see you tomorrow. We hope. Bye-bye.